Welcome back. Today is seventh lecture on Node.js. But actually, in this lecture, we will go through MongoDB as a database. Keep in mind, today we will not learn the Node.js or any module of Node.js, but today we will learn the MongoDB, the database management system, how it works, how we will install it, how we will use it, and what are the key concepts of MongoDB and why we are using MongoDB with our Angular or React or Node server applications. So the concept behind all this, we will learn it today. So the roadmap, we will see the MongoDB pros and cons, its cloud storage, its local storage, and we will then go towards the hands-on practice of this MongoDB. MongoDB is a leading NoSQL database and open source document database. What does it mean by NoSQL? It means it does not use SQL language for querying, but it has its own mechanism to query. It has its own language to query from the database. Secondly, open source document database. It is not a relational DB. Keep in mind, these terms are very much important. It is not a relational DB, but it is a document based DB. It does not contain relationships as we see in our not traditional databases. Relational databases contains relations and a relationship between those relations. In simple words, we have tables and we have a relationship between those. A teacher teaches to students and to students to results, and there are one to one to many, uh, many to many relationships are there. These are called the relational databases. But MongoDB is a document oriented database. It does not actually consider the relationships, but we have way out to define some of the things, but it is not actually a relational database. So there will be no ERD, entity relationship diagram. It has its own basically schema mechanism. We will go through it. So 2 points. We have cleared 2 points. One, it is not a SQL language based database. So our SQL select, insert, update, delete, those queries will not be utilized. Secondly, we also come to know that it is a document oriented database. It contains documents, and those documents are not a relations or table in shape of means relationships between those tables, etc. This MongoDB is actually written in C++. It is highly scalable. You can uh, basically distribute it over different servers and scale it as much as you can. And performance oriented database, we will see how it is performance oriented. So it is document and collection based database, normally in shape of bjsons. I have already told you that it stores json in the binary form. That is why it is called bjson. It has three main terms: a database. A single MongoDB server consists of various databases where each database is a physical container of collections. So the concept of database is same in relational DB or in MongoDB. A database means a set of different collections. What is a collection? A collection in MongoDB is equivalent to the database table and exists within a single database. It includes a group of MongoDB documents. So collection is somewhat just like table in your relational DBs. But what is a document? Document can be defined as an instance of a MongoDB collection. It includes a set of key value pairs. All documented includes a dynamic schema. Yep, this is very important line. I will explain it. Which means document which comprises of a same collection does not need to have same set of fields and structure. So that means A document in a collection can be different from the previous one. For example, we have a collection of students and there is a document with the properties name, registration number, CNIC. And the next document in that collection can be name, phone number, email ID. So the properties are changed. So every document in collection has a dynamic schema. There is no bound by the MongoDB that every new document should contain the same number of fields or same type of fields. It actually provides the facility that every document is an independent thing and you can store any key value pairs in that document. So collection is a virtual container which contains a different type of documents also, can contain different type of file documents. So this is one of the property. What are the good things in MongoDB and what are the bad things in MongoDB? MongoDB is a schema-free database. Actually, MongoDB we cannot define the schema that this will be the structure of our application. It has dynamic behavior. It does not follow a typical schema design as in relational database management system ERD, where it shows a number of tables and relationship between these tables. In MongoDB, there is no concept of relationship. So it is schema free. Second, it is easy to scale. You can increase as much as you can. As as far as there is no limit of your memory, there is no limit of MongoDB. It can store as much as information you can have. It can split over multiple servers. It uses internal memory, which enables faster access to the data structures of objects of designed in is crystal structures of object designed is crystal clear. So these are some of the important point. What are the cons? It provides less flexibility with querying as there is no SQL, so its querying is little difficult. Its query is not flexible as much as of SQL query. No support for transactions. As for transactional databases, it has no transactional concept of atomicity of a transaction consists of smaller steps. You may know asset property of database in relational DBs. So there is no concept of transactions. No structure of table design. Logic is associated with document in JSON format. So it can be good thing, it can be bad thing. We will do it in both ways. We will go with the schema free system, but mainly in our larger applications we go with the schema with a defined well defined way out of storing the data. We will see also why MongoDB. Query support, whereas many NoSQL solutions enable you to access the data only through the keys, MongoDB offers the query regarding the index intended fields and specific range query. Also, it offers you to query with regular expressions. So, query support, there is much query support. You have basically aggregate functions, good aggregate functions with the MongoDB. You have basically a very good querying mechanism with respect to and indexing mechanism. You can create multiple indexes also secondary indexes support as well as the querying with respect to the intended fields defining these fields as secondary indexes provide us access data in a high performance. So alternatively you can define the secondary indexes and it will be faster for you to access the information. Then master slave replication, that is basically that what I said, you can directed the read and write operations to separate servers, running a slave server as a master server when that master server is inaccessible in a very important positive value undoubtedly. Spreading the large scale data across multiple servers is a feature that makes different MongoDB among its kind. So you can divide your server onto MongoDB server onto multiple servers. So every M will store a chunk of data. So that is a great thing with it. It reduce support. It uses map reduce support driver support for many languages. That's why you should use MongoDB. So let's start. What to do? You have to download MongoDB from mongodb.org. You can download the community edition. Check from the command prompt. You can install the MongoDB and you can run the MongoDB and to check that the MongoDB is running or not. There is free cloud hosting, that is Atlas, available. You can create your account on MongoDB Atlas, and you can create your all the collections there also. By default, whenever you run the MongoDB, it uses 27017 port. You can change it using additional parameters, but by default the port for MongoDB is 27017 on localhost. MongoD is your server side daemon, and mongo.exe is client success file. Other than that, you have a Compass software. Compass is a visual software. MongoDB, you can use MongoDB on a command line. You can run different commands on a command line, just like querying from SQL, but you can also use the front end. The front end tool is called Compass. So you can install the Compass and view your database just like PHPMyAdmin. So that is the concept of Compass. It's up to you. You can download the community edition or enterprise edition according to your requirement. Um, Install complete. Exclude uncheck Compass if the internet is slow, because Compass is of 300 something MB, and if internet is slow, it will take too much time to download and install the MongoDB onto your system. If the internet is okay, then you should install the Compass so that you can see the visual of your collections. You should when you run your MongoDB server, MongoD file, there can be possibility that it runs and vanishes, because on some of the system it cannot create one folder itself. That is the folder of data in C drive. If there is such case, just open the C drive, create a folder, empty folder data, then create an empty folder DB into it. Now rerun the MongoD. You will find the MongoDB in the path C program file, MongoD server 4.2, the bin. Here you will find MongoD. When you run this MongoD, it will start listening at the default port 27017, and it will continue listening. If you have not created this data folder, it will switch off. If this is not true for all the systems, all the laptops, but on some of the laptops this can occur. In that case, you have to create this data folder and a DB folder into it in C drive. Server is running now. Double click on mongo.exe. Now it is a client connectivity or in the same folder, and start the commands. You can run multiple commands. We will go through the commands, then we will do it practically also, one by one. What are the basic commands? DB, it will show you the current using DB. The DB which is currently being used, it will display the DB. For example, whenever you write first command DB, it will show you the test. Test is basically sample database. db.help will show you command availables. db.stats thus show you the statistics of your database, names, collection associated with it. Use command is used to switch to the new database or create new database. For example, I want to create a new database of LMS. I will use space LMS. If there is an LMS available, database available, it will switch to this database. If LMS does not available, it will create a new database with the name LMS and switch you to this. And you can run the command show dbs. Show dbs will show you all the available databases at the moment from which has been created with the storage value. If you want to see the collections, you will run the command show collections. It will show you the collection in a specific database which you have selected, which you are in at the moment. It will show you all the collections available in that database. If you want to create the database, you will run the command db.createCollection, and with it you will pass the name of the collection and any other optional parameters options that you need to specify. But you don't need to create the database, the collection also. You can directly use it. It will automatically create it for you. For example, I will run a command db.people.insert. Now, in the current database, it will create a new collection with the name people and add a new record into it. So, adding a record in collection of db, it will create collection if not there before. So by writing this command db.people.insert will create a new document in a collection named people into your selector db. Here you can see you have passed a JSON with the name and value, key value pair. That is the way out you can insert multiple document values like comma separated name colon Bill Clinton comma age colon 80 comma etc. You can pass on the values and then your curly braces. To search a record from the database, you will use dot find function. To insert a record into your database, you will use the insert command. To find anything from the database, you will use the find command. And whenever you will run the find, you will see there is an auto ID field. There is a field that is called underscore ID that is auto generated by the MongoDB. Whenever you inserted the document, this name is equal to Bill Clinton, it will attach an other field with it that is called the underscore ID, and that will contain a hashed value, and that is basically auto generated field. So db.people.find, you can run this command. This is just like command select static from people. It will search everything and return you everything. But if you add some where clause into it, this command db.people.find name Bill Clinton, it means select static from people where name is equal to Bill Clinton. Now it will search the Bill Clinton into your record and will return you the value. Same, you can use the regex. This is that starts with the Bill, and you can use the regex and returns you every matching field. But there is another option, that is find one. We were using find, we can use find one also. It will return only the first record which is matched with this security. Now we are searching the George at the start of the name and returning only one record if it matches with the pattern. We can also specify the limit also, db.people.find.limit. So this will help to limit the number of record we will receive. So we are saying search every record but display us the first two only. That means select static from M, but we are also specifying the number of record that only two will be displayed. That is the search operations that can be performed on any DB. You can send one object and with multiple property or single property to find. You can send find without any property. You can use the regex for to search something from a specific field. You can limit your result or according to your need. So we have seen insert, we have seen find, we have seen find one. Now to update the record, there is a concept, there is a query that is called update db.people.update. In this, we will first search the relevant result. We are first searching select static from people where name is equal to Bill Clinton, and after getting this result, we are setting the new name. So we are replacing Bill Clinton with William Clinton, and here uh, the number of record change, we are saying the maximum number of record change will be 2. So here first search then change the value. Terms are number of record changes. The update method updates the value in the document, while the save method on the other hand replaces the existing document. If we use save instead of update, so it will replace the current object with that updated object. And if we use update method, it will change the value of any field of a given record. To delete a record, we have seen inserting the record, we have seen finding the record, searching the record, we have seen updating the record. Now to delete the record, what we need to do, db.people.remove. Now it will search this record and will delete one. If we pass this, if we don't pass this, it will delete all the record which comes with this regular expression, under this regular expression. So alternatively, to remove the record, we will search a specific record and remove it. We can also provide the underscore id field here that can be used to delete the record. If you want to delete the complete collection, you will use the word drop, db.people.drop. It will delete the collection. If you want to delete the database, db.dropdb, it will delete the db, and your main db will be deleted, or which you are being used. So that is all. We will now come up with the hands-on practice over these commands in our second part.